Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rob. Sorry for the short delay there. Had a doctor's appointment. You know how that goes. I mean, I only got there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You'd think they could get me out before 11:30. So sorry about that, but welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please type the number 1 in the questions box, let me know that you can. I'd appreciate it. All right. Very, very good. Good to see so many familiar faces and so many new ones. Afternoon, Kevin. Hey, Simone, how are you, dear? Yeah, Larry, you know, it's just it is what it is as a doctor, right? They tell you there's something wrong, or they think there's something wrong, or they don't know what's wrong, or that's why they call it a practice, right? Someday they'll get it right. Oh, my goodness gracious. Morning, Lisa. How are you? A lot of comments coming through there. Brenda, I can have Amelia reach out to you and talk to you on it. She is an expert in all of our programs that we have. My next week at least is shot as far as even being in the office. Yeah, Helen, all is good. All is good. I appreciate you asking. So guys, we've got Trading You coming up on the 5th. I haven't even changed my calendar yet. I still got May up on my wall. Patterns in a Flash. If you're a subscriber to Patterns in a Flash, what Tony does is he will do it once a month, 1 hour live training to all of his students, where he'll get in on a, go to webinar just like we are here. He'll get in there and teach you about some patterns, take some questions, look at some charts of what's going on now, and show you some patterns of what's happening. Guys, that's worth the subscription alone, just what that man does with that. Then the next, Mastering the Trade, which is for each and every one of you that are in Power Option Plays, or those of you that are joining Power Option Plays. As long as you're a subscriber at that point, that workshop is free. You can enroll in that workshop on its own. It's $297 for the one night, and it's not 8 to 9, it's 8 to 10-ish. You can enroll in that one workshop on its own, but it's less expensive to enroll in Power Option Plays for a month than it is in Mastering the Trade. Monster Market Movers, we had a great Monster Market Movers the other day. Amelia had called me the next day, and she goes, oh my God, the strategy that you taught in there, we killed it the next day after that. She had talked to some students as well about it. So guys, you definitely want to make sure you're becoming part of that if you're not. The next Power Hour we do every Monday, of course. Patterns Today, Tony's doing a twice a month free online workshop, similar to what we do here, right? But he'll be doing it based on patterns and so forth. June 5th is the next one, which is, I think it's 5th. Amelia, can you just confirm that for me that it is the 5th? 12 to 1, right? We got E-mini class tonight, which I'm excited about getting in there this evening. Guys, we've been averaging 100 to 250 a night on E-minis. Power Options Plays we do every Tuesday and Sunday. We broke the $500,000 mark this month. I think we got about 550-ish for the month, which is awesome. And then, of course, you got a couple of on-demands, which I have a meeting tomorrow, guys. I should know tomorrow exactly when those go away. And then the Mastermind Group is on June 7th in New York, in my New York office. That is this Friday. So super, super excited. Hey, Gregory, how you doing? About that. Here is the follow us page. Guys, as of today, we started rolling out our new social media program, our plan that Sean and I have laid out. So you're going to start to see videos hitting YouTube, Insta stories, Facebook, Twitter, all of it. All of it. You definitely want to make sure you're following us there. Lisa, the next Monster Market Movers is May 20. Oh, I didn't change it there. Let me see. Well, actually, let's do this. We should have it on the calendar by now, right? It would be in June. Monster Market Movers is on the 27th of June. I have it down on the 27th of May. So, this is the wonderful ability to do this stuff on the fly is right there. We changed it to June. So good catch. I'm glad you caught that there, Lisa. So June 27th, 8 to 10 p.m. Okay. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right in. I pulled up the intraday charts on the markets. Ooh, look at that, baby, right there. That is today. Googly. Hold on a second, please. Please hold on a second. Oh, no, we don't have a trade on it. Oh, I thought I had a bearish trade on that one. No, we had a note to take a trade, but wow. All right, let's go look at the S&P 500. Okay, so the S&P 500 this morning came down, stretched to that 2739 level, which was one of our targets that we talked about in power option plays yesterday. We talked about that 2739 level being the support. So we came down, we bounced off of that 2739, and we're up a little bit, right? Not much, but we're up a little bit. Better than what we've seen the last couple of days as far as how the market has moved. And even more so what we've seen since mid-April, third week of April, when we have just collapsed. Let's see. Actually, it's May. It was May 1st. So from that May 1st time period, we've had those lower highs and lower lows setting up in there, right? Just interesting the way that the markets are reacting to these Fibonacci levels that we've got drawn in there. The moving averages have moved into a true bear. The pink is on the bottom, the green is up above, the brown is up above that, right? So those three moving averages are in the exact order or the perfect alignment of the stars, if you would, right, in there. So what we're looking at now is, will that 2739 level hold? That's going to be the critical area. That will be the key. That's going to really make all the difference in the world right there. You know, I've had students reach out to me and say, Rob, is this it? You know, you've been telling us that China is going to be the catalyst. Is this it, right? And I said, I don't know if it's exactly China, but it's believed China will be. But no matter what, it is not expected to be just the U.S. It's expected to be some foreign country. How much does Mexico play into it now with the tariffs being imposed and all of that wonderful stuff? Great and fine and good, right? Are we there yet? Not sure, right? We're talking about third quarter of this year, right? Which is coming up soon, okay? Into mid next year is the expectation. Now, anything can happen. Anything can happen. That could change. It could come sooner. It could come later. It's just the expectations. I have reached out to some of the guys that are in my mastermind group and talked with them for their opinions of it, and no one seems to feel, these are the economist type guys, right? No one seems to feel that we're there today, right? This is a pullback. The Mexico debacle will fix itself very quickly when Mexico steps in, when Mexico steps in and says, okay, we're going to do something to fix this. And as soon as that happens, everything's going to change, right? The market will take off, skyrocket. I think it gives everybody a great buying opportunity as the market does start to recover. I think it gives a great buying opportunity in there. I mean, I got my kids sitting in cash right now on some of their positions in their portfolios, their retirement plans. And we will be going long as the market recovers from those, but we're waiting to start adding to the positions. They've got some already, but this is the add to piece of the puzzle now. We're just waiting for that market to start to recover. Will it recover from here? It's very possible. It's very possible, but we'll see. If it doesn't hold there, guys, that 2700 is the next key level that we're looking for. Yeah, William said lots of good stuff rolling in on Sockman. What is that, William? Oh, got it. My goodness. Okay, my bad. He wrote SOCMED as one word and with a cap on the M, and he said social media. So I'm like, SOCMED, just sorry, have a step behind, I guess, today. On social media, yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. We have shot a ton of video. We're going to shoot some more later this week. We've got a lot of good stuff coming out. All right, so Brenda asked, what is the difference between monster market movers and the power options plays? So I'll give you a brief description of what the differences are in there, but just as an FYI, and I just need to finalize it, I did a video, it was about 35 minutes long, and I broke down the various tools from wealth builders, And what I mean by that is I went ahead and I took our top 5 programs and said, okay, how do I go about and show the differences between these so someone can look at that and say, ooh, this is what I think I want. Let's see, tool comparison. No, that's not it. Let me see if I've got this graphic here real quick. Let me see where I hit it. Not sure, not seeing it right away, so. Oh, tool comparison, there it is. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, this is Robert. Nope, that's the video. All right, anyway, so you've got power option plays and monster market moves. I really was hoping to find this graphic to show you, which will make life so much easier. But when you look at power options plays, Brenda, power options plays is twice a week. We trade 20 very specific stocks over and over and over and over and over again. The goal is $100,000 a month on, like I said, I think it was about 140, 160,000, somewhere around there is what our start point was this year. We didn't get a lot of Google, Amazon, Priceline trades early on, so there was very little cash required because of those. Then that was to do 10 contracts or 4 contracts of everything that we did. You could say, well, I don't have 160,000. What if I only had 16,000? Great, right? What if I only had 1,600? Guys, you could do it with any dollar amount. You just limit the types of positions that you do, right? So you're not trading Google and Amazon with a smaller account. And as a brand new trader, if that's you probably shouldn't be trading them anyway, right? Or you take those, the Googles and the Amazons, and you do what Amelia does with them, and she does it purposely to teach you guys, as she works with so many of you one-on-one and helping you. She works with you guys, and she takes those positions and shows you how she day trades them based off the power option plays rules, right? So she has done a great job in coming up with her own types of strategies to help you, the individual students, understand and know how. So power options plays is all about, and it's a recorded version is what we do. It's not live, it's recorded. The live is every 6 weeks. We do a Mastering the Trade workshop, which gives you a chance to ask questions in there. And the greatest thing about it, guys, is this. I have students sending questions in all the time. I mean, John sent something in last week, and I had said, John, I had missed something on a trade where we actually should have taken a trade and I didn't take it. And I said, John, I didn't see it. I missed it. Good catch. I'll go ahead and show it in the next update, which was yesterday's update, which brought us in another $7,000 or $8,000 on that trade, right? I mean, it's phenomenal, right? That the students, you guys are seeing this and starting to catch it. You're there. It's making that much more sense. You're that much closer. You're that close to the finish line, right? Because you're starting to catch on. So there is no specific start date on it. You start where you're at. It's going to take you a couple of weeks to get acclimated. That's just what it is. There's tons of training videos. There's 2 hours of Rob's secret sauce. There's 2 hours of the last Mastering the Trade class in there. And of course, Power Option Plays comes with a 2-week trial. So you're not charged anything, guys. And that's if you subscribe for a quarter. There's no trial on the monthly. If you subscribe to the quarterly, which is a lot less expensive than the monthly is, but if you subscribe to the quarterly, you get a 2-week trial. So the next Trading the Upcoming Storm was when? Mastering the Trade was June 12th. So guys, if you started the 2-week trial now, you would get the old version of the Mastering the Trade, which is still on the website, and then you'd see the new version of it, the next week's one, as we get into next week's class. Perfect. Then, so Monster Market Mover is slightly different. Monster Market Mover is live 2-hour workshop. It's one time a month. That's all about candidate selection, pattern recognition, trading high reliability trade setups. So, if I had my choice of where do I think is a better choice for someone, I think Power Options Plays is definitely the better choice. Now, with that being said, I really do believe that everyone benefits from the patterns, I mean, guys, if you can just take the pattern I taught last week, which was the power hour strategy, you just take that and start trading that, guys, that's a full-time income if you learn just how to trade that one strategy. And not something you would have learned anywhere else. I don't teach it in power option plays. I don't teach it in E-mini Think Tank. It is a very specific strategy that I teach in Monster Market Movers. High reliability, high repeatability, high predictability is what it is. Both of the subscriptions cost about the same for the quarter. So dollars and cents wise, you're right about at the same number, $95 difference or so. But really not anything that is going to throw you off. All right. Amelia did confirm Tony's patterns today is the 5th at 8 o'clock. No, not today. The 5th is Wednesday. Today's the 3rd. All right, Brenda. So just give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. Did that help? Going through that for you. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. So guys, right now we're in bearish territory on the S&P. Be cautious of what's going on. If we look at the VIX. If we look at the VIX right now, the VIX is in a bullish pattern. Yes, it is up, it is down today. But I mean, the VIX is bullish. What does that mean? That means the market is bearish. It's an inverse relationship to the market. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, good. So caution, without a doubt, caution needs to be the word of the day because we could easily, guys, step back in. We could easily step back in, pull up to this confluence of 2792, which is a pivot. The 8-period EMA, hit that level and fail and drop like a rock. When we look at DMI, the ADX is plenty of directional move, 37.39, plenty of directional move. The DMI minus is on an upturn. The DMI plus is down. The DMI minus is at 38. So it says there's enough momentum to take a directional trade. That's ADX. DMI minus tells us there's enough momentum to take the directional trade down. Right? Bearish. Last week, Sean and I were doing some quick videos for Instagram. And as I'm sitting there, I've got my back to him, and he's just kind of setting the camera up for the next shoot. And I said, hey, Sean, check this out. There's a trade setup that we just took right here. And as I said it, he turned record on and started recording a whole video on how we took a particular technical indicators breakout. So, and it was a Bollinger Band breakout. So you guys are going to want to keep your eyes out for that. You'll see within the next week or two, I'm guessing, maybe 3, before that one hits out there. But it's there. It's ready. So, guys, that's where we're at market-wise. If we look at the markets today, what I do? All right. If we look at the markets today, let's go to, well, let's do this. Let's go look at the ES tab. The ES is the S&P 500. Oh, look what just happened. We're now down 12 points on the S&P from being up 1 and jingle. All right, first thing is let's do this. So you can see, we look at a little bigger picture, 5-minute chart, right? This goes back to the 28th, which was Tuesday, right? We hit that high and then we failed. Wednesday we failed. Thursday we made that move back up, closed lower, right? Closed a little bit lower for the day. And then Friday we just kind of fell apart. Now let's zoom in. Right, this dotted line you're seeing right here, the vertical line right here, is the open Sunday night at 6 p.m. It's on the ES, which is the S&P 500 futures. We dropped, and then we got into the sideways mode. We dropped again right around the European Open, right? We took off. We had a nice climb, and this ran up right through the beginning of the market. Here's the 9:30 a.m. candle, and we pushed up and we failed, right? We had a great run take place right on that 10-10 time frame. We had a higher high now, and we're testing on the previous low right here. So the question is going to be, does it sustain or fail at this point. And if it fails, as it looks like it's starting to press to the downside, the question always comes down to look left. Where's our next downside target? We're going to look to retest the lows of the morning of the overnight session, which is that 6 p.m. Sunday night session. The lows in there is where we're looking at our next test at. But we've had, I mean, since we're talking, we've dropped 2 points on the S&P. The Dow is only down about 60. The NASDAQ's down 109 points. Google is a tremendous amount of that. Robert, thank you, sir. I always appreciate these kind of feedbacks in there. Robert said support 1, S1, is at this level on the ES. So the pivot point, S1, is sitting right here. Awesome. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So guys, we're in an interesting position right now. I mean, since we started, right here, you can see how much we've dropped from about 2750 to 2740, we'll call it. Right? So 10, 11, 12 points or so that we've seen move to the downside so far. Yeah, baby. I know some of you are freaking out because you're watching your 401ks, right? They're starting to look like 101ks, right? They're losing value in there, and you keep putting money in, and that money's losing value. And but guys, you got to learn to get excited about taking advantage of the downside market. Robert said on the ES, the high of the session was the pivot point. There you go. So Robert said up here we had our pivot today, right about that 63, 64 level, somewhere around there, 27, 63 or 64. Okay. And guys, I'm not saying, Brenda said she's pulling hers out tomorrow. I'm not saying that this is the time to get out of your monies or not, right? I mean, in the mastermind group, in the live mastermind group, we went into a very in-depth strategy on how to handle this, what to do as the market shifted over, how do we take advantage of it, right? So, and as we do the online version of the mastermind group, we will do the same training in the online version of the mastermind group. Right, both of the daily on the S1 and the pivot points. Appreciate it, Robert. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, guys, we've got a bunch of people in here retiring. Right? Larry just retired. David has recently retired a couple months back. Brenda's retiring. Trip is retiring. I mean, we got a bunch of you guys, and some of you met Trip. He ain't nowhere near retirement age. All right, Trip's retiring to trade. Right, and that's the whole idea. Yeah, and Brenda said, I'd rather see what I can do with it than leave it in the market. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, right? What I am, guys, I have not measured the totals for the month of May yet, right? Let me do this. Let me just grab something real quick. All right, so let me grab something real quick here. And see if I can't share this with you. I just don't know where it's going to open up. All right, so that's good. Let me close that down. All right, so this is the tracking sheet for power option plays. Right, there's a weekly total done in here, and I haven't done the weeklies in a little bit. Where's my mouse? There we go. Okay, haven't done the weeklies in a little bit. Let's go ahead and do a monthly on this. So May, they're saying something about how bad May as a month was for the S&P the other day. Right, we've got $88,686 was our P&L for the month of May. Right, so was it a killer month? Nope, we look for 100 grand a month. I'm not, but I'm. Hold on a second. That may not be true. Hold on. Let me see something. Oh no, that wasn't right. I forgot a few. Let me move these over. All right, let's do it again. So I didn't have a couple of them from last week in there. But I would promise you that very few of you are upset if we only made $86,000 last month. 105,066. So we hit right about average of what we're looking for. All right, 105,066. That was 1 month, Brenda. Yeah, 1 month. Now that's assuming you took every single trade, Brenda, which no one takes every single trade, right? You're going to find a batch of stocks that you like that fit your risk profile. So as an example, guys, I'll switch this out to the Power Option Plays list, which it's not that I don't want to share it. I share that everywhere. I just stay on the all symbols, so when we look at something, I can see the details of it, pivot, pivots, and things like that. So if you look here, and we sort this, Brenda, by the closing price, right? We've got stocks in that $60 and $70 range. You've got a bunch of stocks in that $100 to $150 range, that $150 up to $200, right? $239. You've got the majority of your stocks. Then that $300 to $500, $600. You've got 2 or 3 in there, and then you got the big ones: the Google, the Booking, the Amazon. It's not a matter of someone saying I'm going to trade every one of them. It's a matter of finding the 5 or 8 stocks that fit your risk profile, your personal risk tolerance, and you trade those companies. Specifically, trading those out to become the best trader you can be. And I tell people in Power Option Plays all the time, you take this sheet, you fill it out every single week before I even do mine. You do yours, and then you check it against mine as I come out and do the video of it or the tracking sheet of it. And then from there, you're going to add 5 or 8 of your own stocks to the list, right? And those are the ones that you're going to add and do yourself, because you want more than 5 or 6 companies. You really want about that 12 to 15 stocks that fit your risk profile, so you always have some that work when there will be others that just won't be working. Hey, Grant, how you doing, young man? Glad to see you here. Facebook broke below its 200 moving average today. Well, there you go. I mean, there's so much happening right now, right? So if we go and look at well, actually, let's do it this way. No, you know what? I'll do this here. So I've got a weekly chart up right here, right? And I have a 55, a 144, and a 233 is this gray line, right? If we change this to a daily, right, we are testing that 233 right now. Right, we've got this very big picture Fibonacci that we're sitting down at the 118 Fibit. So from a perspective of 200, we broke already. From a Fibonacci perspective, we're sitting at a very critical area right now. Very, 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 very critical area right now. If we violate that, guys, there's a lot of cause for concern. We've already broke through the 233, which to me is the equivalent of the 200, is how I look at it. And the 144 is the equivalent of what others would look at the 100, right? But we violated those already. We're there. Let's go ahead and do weekly. All right, there we go. Just so I can put it back where it was. But yeah, I mean, from a standpoint here, Grant, if we go ahead and switch this over, let me see. Let's just put a 200 on here. So let's change that to 200. You tell me, so I'm not seeing it, Grant, unless I did something wrong. I'm down here on Facebook. So let me know what you're seeing. Because I'm showing down here on the 233 on the weekly chart. Yeah, what if we go, no, on weekly or monthly, we're not going to be anywhere near it. Ooh, that just looks terrible. Too busy. Intraday 200. Got it, Grant. On the intraday. Got it. Okay. Right. Well, it just tapped that 200, that 233 level. I'm glad you're watching it. I'm glad you guys are keeping your eye on it. These 144, 233s are critical moving averages. You need to learn them. Larry said, have I taught a class on determining your risk profile? I have not. Maybe that's something we need to do in the future, is something on that. So Brenda said, in power option plays, then we get to trade what you trade if we can afford it. So Brenda, I will tell you exactly what we're looking at. So we'll go back a couple of weeks to whatever this was, whatever week it was. Apple, bullish with the pullback to the 8. Amgen, we're looking for day trades. A lot of earnings. So on Biogen, bearish below 229 aggressive. Right? So I'm telling you, if it gets to 229 or lower, take the bearish trade. And then the two stops below there, our targets are 223 and 216, which are the ones that say bear targets. Right? So, everything you need is right here. Tesla, bearish below 243.5 aggressive. How many of you would have liked to have taken a Tesla trade at 243.5 as a bearish trade? Give me a 1 for yes or 2 for no. And I'll help you out if you don't know whether or not you should have taken it, or whether you would like to have taken it. It's sitting at 182 right now, right? So I told you to take the bearish trade at 243.5, and it's sitting at 182.69 right now. Not a lot of ones. Okay. Maybe I gave the answer away too quick. So Grant, how's trading been going for you? And I think you just graduated, right? All right, so guys, let's go ahead and do this. Go ahead and type in the symbols you want me to take a look at. Let's go see what you want me to check out. I'm going to put back the other symbol grid box so I can see Fibbits without changing page. I don't really care about the closing price, I just care about Fibbits. Trip, good to see you, sir. Yep, Patty said Grant has graduated. Yeah, I spoke with Grant the other day. 17 years old, guys. Guys, here you go. You just stop whatever you're doing. I know you may be watching something on TV, writing something down, looking at a book, balancing your check, whatever it is, just stop and listen to this. Trading's great. Don't need to work a job because of trading. Mainly doing under 5 contracts. Don't trade everything, but still trading. Guys, I love it. Don't need to work a job because of trading at 17 years old. Grant's been on this path since the age of 9. Just out of curiosity, 1 for yes, 2 for no. How many of you would like to learn what this 17-year-old knows about trading the market? That he doesn't have to go work a job. All right. Hey, Pete, good to see you. Glad you made it. A little bit, yep, a little bit. All right, William said, everybody knows something I don't. Tripp said, it took me 53 years. Grant's been going about 8 or 9 years now to doing this. But he started at 8 or 9 years old. Yep, Patty said, it's been a long time. I remember when he was 8 learning trading and being an entrepreneur. Yeah, the seminar with Grant, the previous one with Grant was awesome. Yeah, where he came and taught on moving averages and stuff was phenomenal. Judith said you need to have a senior citizen to relate to the older people. Okay, I'll consider that, Judith. Will said only 1.5 years in Wealth Builders is a big help. I appreciate that. Grant's good for younger people. I don't know, guys. I got a friend of mine who teaches strategies for another company. and he's 23 years old, and I don't care what age you are, he's teaching them how to make some serious coin. So 23, maybe 24, this guy is. Let's see. All right. So let me go ahead and, hey, maybe we need to get Dale Zamzo back. What do you think, Judith? How would that be if we get Dale to come back in? You know, I spoke to Dale the other day. So we've got Micron was the first one that Trip asked us on. Micron's in a bearish bias. We've got earnings coming out pretty soon, so we've got to be cautious of that. 32 and 28 are the downside targets. Actually, we need a fib in here. We need an 882. So let's go put that in. Because it's a fibit, we put black. If we're doing a fib 4-step, we make it green. So looking at 32 and 30, Trip, are going to be our downside targets. On NVIDIA, also bearish. Dividends just came out. Let's look at a bigger picture on the fibs. Fib is still good. What a great thrust pattern down we've had from that 185 level all the way down to 135, 50 points. Wow. We're looking at that 133 and 121 level as our targets, Trip. So give me a pullback to a moving average / fib line, whatever it is, to some kind of confluence, and a rollover, and white on rice, baby. Take the trade, take the trade, take the trade. Itty bitty machine. Oh, big gap down. All right, let's pull that out of the way. So, Trip, what I like on IBM, fibs are still good. If we can get a move back up, a reversal back up to that 129.5 and a rollover, let's see, 123.5 gives us 6. We probably need a fib in here, Trip. We do need a fib inside of here. So we can get it back up to that 129.5. We're looking at 126.5 as our first target, 123.5 is our second one. All right, lots of congratulations coming up there, Grant, for you. Yeah, Larry said fantastic on Dale being back for news trades. Dale's a great trader, guys. I learned a lot on how to trade from him. He's a great trader. Let's see. Larry was asking for W Day. Guys, we've done this many times in Covered Call Explorer. It's an expensive long-term option on W Day. So the only other thing I see, okay, so that's the last symbol that I'm seeing up here. So guys, you tell me. Let's make it interactive, right? What do you notice? What do you see about W Day? If you're going to analyze this, what do you want to tell me about W Day? You tell me. What do you see? Exactly, Grant. Grant was the first one in there. Possible setup there on that, Larry. Okay. Pete said we've got rising highs and lows. All right, so Grant hit it. Confluence of 8 and 21. Good. There's a confluence of the 8 and 21, Larry, which makes for a strong resistance. Right, but right now, right, it broke through what? Well, let me zoom in. If you look left, you'll see we've come down and we've stretched to the 55 numerous times. We violated it, closed above, violate, closed above. Same here. Right now, we violated the 55, but we closed below it slightly. Now, I don't want to put a lot of stock into this just yet, but if we close below the 55 today, that's the first time it's happened in this bullish run. We have not seen a close below the 55 then since December 24th. That's the last time we saw a close below the 55. Other than that, it's been straight up. Right? Well, if we get the close below there today, that's a little bit concerning, but it depends how close it closes. In other words, yeah, it broke through a little bit. No big deal. No harm, no foul. If we close where the low was today, that's not a healthy move for W day, right? If we get back above the 55, we have a history of bouncing off of that 55 and making the move up, right? We've got fairly tight on the 8 and 21. So around that 204-ish level, we have resistance. I'm okay with 198 to 204. That's a $6 move. William said it's a lot lower now, 194.38. You know what? Let's do that, William. Let's do a quick intraday update. Current session, no. We're not doing criteria. And let's see. While that's happening there, so the S&P is about where it was. It's down 12 points. Oh, guys, look on the ES. What a setup. Look at that. Right? We pushed right up into the moving average, closed with it, failed on this candlestick. That was the entry. Right about that 741 level was our entry there. Right? Good short scalp day trade, lunchtime type trade. Right? Scalper Ed is probably going crazy on this thing right now. All right. Oh, yeah. So if we close where we are right now, good catch on that, William. Thanks for the update. If we close where we are right now in this, guys, I'd be concerned. This is not, yeah, we broke through a little bit like we just had. Nope. This is holy moly. We had a big hit on our price. Right? We had 2 or 3 of you ask for Amazon. Well, actually, let me do this. Guys, so until Larry, I think you would ask on this. Until we have a close here today, I'd be a little cautious on anything. Day trade it, absolutely. Day trade the daylights out of it. Right? I'm good with that. Until we get a close, I'm a little bit leery about trying to do anything overnight. If we do close where we are now, look for a pullback to the 55 and a failure for the bearish trade. If you're an aggressive trader and you want to take that breakout, you've got that 191.20 as your support level. If you want to take a breakout for tomorrow as an example. It's all a matter of who you are as a trader. So Jim said, is W day down because of what is happening on the NASDAQ rather than the stock? You know, I don't know. I'm not sure, Jim. But, you know, we were down a couple of days ago as well, big. Then it was up, then it was doji, then on Friday, and then today back down again. I'm not sure whether it is the market or the stock driving it down. So we look at NQ, which is the NASDAQ. This has been the NASDAQ since the overnight session. Down a little, up a little, sideways, a little trend from the European Open. Good move up, same thing as the S&P did on the 930 market on the Open. Big drop down. What do you notice different on this one than on the ES? Here's the NASDAQ. Here's the ES, right? What do you notice different about the NASDAQ? ES, NASDAQ. It's like an eye doctor test. Which one can you see better? Number 1, number 2. 1, 2. Right? What do you notice? Bearish bias. Flat till it opens. Ah, Patty, you hit it. You hit it, Patty. Yep, there you go, Robert. That's exactly what you and Patty, it's exactly what I'm looking for. And some of you may have got it. I'm just not seeing it because of all the answers ever since. All right, you should be good to go. So guys, what I was looking for here on the NASDAQ was the H pattern, was absolutely brilliant. Up to the 618, fail, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, right? The NASDAQ had this great pattern. You don't have this on the ES, right? We were kind of, it's just not there, right? And not on this initial move, it wasn't, right? So on NASDAQ, NQ, we had a much smoother movement take place for us to get some great trades off of there. And you figure you went from 93 to 80 on the first move, right? That's 13 points. That's 52 ticks. If you only got 40 of them, right? 40 ticks. That's not too shabby on the NASDAQ, right? At $5 a tick or 20 bucks a point. Good. So Larry said, holy Toledo, H on an intraday. Got to keep that in mind. Absolutely, Larry. Which is why I keep what I call my 4-pack. I know there are 5 charts up there, but I call it a 4-pack because there are certain trade setups I use the Bollinger Bands for, right? But I've got a 1-minute chart, a 144 chart, a 5 as futures, a 5, and a daily. If we go over to my 4-pack chart which is on stock, for equities, I've got a 1, a 5, a 15, and a daily. And then again, I've got some Bollinger Bands set up on the upper right over here. Keep clicking too much. So by looking at this, I can get a better view. So if I go @NQ, right, everything changes over, I can see that as it's setting up then, Larry, right? So 5-minute chart right here, even on the 15, guys, look at on the 15-minute chart. If you're a bigger time frame trader, right to the 618, 92, 80, right? Numbers won't change, right? Numbers don't change. Patty said, why do you like the 144 tick besides it being a fib number? Well, that's the only reason I like it, is for it being a fib number. But the reason I choose the 144 is we tend to trade at night in the E-mini think tank, and that's a good time frame for us in the evening. If you've got a very active night, you go back 2 years ago, and our summer, we did better in the summertime than we did in the wintertime, in the rest of the year. Our summer, we were killing it. We were watching 200, 300-point moves on the Dow overnight. Which are unheard of normally. By the time 10 o'clock arrives, we're seeing that kind of move already from 6 o'clock when it opens up. And there's really no activity until 8 normally, because that's when the markets, the other exchanges around the world, open. 144 works well. If you try to use a 144, I'll give you an example. If we go over to this ES chart and you look at a 144 tick chart, so I've got 377 on the ES. Right? But if you go over to let's see, NQ has 144, right? So let's go back and find, if we can, I may have to back it up a little bit more. All right, good. So let's see, all right, there's our 930. So where's my 930 time frame? $9.30 in 1 second, 9:30, 30, 30, 30. There we go. So there's 9:30. So 3 candles encompass 9:30. So can you imagine forming 3 candles for 9:30 alone? Right, Patty? So it's way too fast, because the 2 lines, I just snapped one in. That was a 9:30 time frame. You can see this is 9:30.01. So these 3 candles between those 2 vertical lines I drew We're all the same second of the market, right? And then if you look at where the next 931 is, my next 930 in 1 second. Well, actually, don't even go there. Let's do it this way. Let's just look where 931 is, 1 minute. That's 1 minute of time in there. What is that, 30 candles? So it's a fast tick during the day, but at night, it's a much better time period. You've got 144, 233, 377, right? And there are some other fib numbers as well, but it's a good chart as a scalper, Patty. As a quick in and out type trader, it's a very good chart to use. All right, beautiful. Let's see. All right, Jim said, where would you have gotten into a bearish trade on the H pattern on the NQ on the NASDAQ? Let's zoom in on it. So depending on the level of aggressiveness, Jim, right? Some traders would have taken the trade. Let me grab a pen. It's already a color I can use. Some traders would have already tried to take the trade right there. And I'm not saying it's a bad place, but we got up near the 618, which is the level we're looking for. That's what makes it the H, is it gets up to that 50 or 618 and fails, right? And if you did, you would have scaled out of half the trade at your first line and the second half down here. Well, we never got the second half, so you would have been stopped out of the second half. Okay. The next time we came up at this one green candle and we closed just above that green candle. And the next candle, we started to move lower. We pushed up a little bit. Let me do it this way. I really didn't want to draw it the way that I did. Meaning I didn't want to cover up the wick. So that candle right there, we opened up about where we closed, we moved up higher, and then we started to fail. And then Will answered the question. Will wrote in to that your question, Jim, is where, and Will wrote just below the point 618. So as we started to come down off the 618, that's the place to take the bearish trade. Your first target would have been 70, 80, 47. That's support. So your target would be somewhere above that, maybe a buck above, $2 above. It's a comfort level. Your second target would have been, here's your support. It would have been same thing, just above that 70, 68. That's your second target in the exit there, right? If the trade doesn't work and goes against you and moves up above resistance, so be it. They call it trading, not winning, right? You got to trade it. You have to trade it. But the opportunity is there. Does that help, Jim? Was that good? Cool. All right. Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Patty said, I guess I was really wanting to know why you use ticks. Thanks for your explanation. The why, Patty, just to try to simplify it, the why all comes down to being able to scalp and day trade the market and not feel that I've got this this minute chart that I have to work with, and I've got a longer time frame. I want the tick chart, or the tick chart itself rather, is going to be the bar is going to be based on the number of trades, not based on a time period. Patty said, how do you feel about wait, that was Larry, sorry. How do you feel about using the fibs on the power hour trade? Oh yeah, Larry, absolutely. They work extremely well. And you know how you do it, Larry? You would take the fibs, the direction that you get the breakout, and you would draw the fibs off of the power hour lines. Does that make sense, Larry? Give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no. Use the high and low. So Larry, power hour is about high and low, right? Of the first hour of the market. Use the first hour's high and low as the starting point and the finish point on the fibs. So if I go over to this here, and let's say that my power hour lines, and guys, I'm not going to explain what they are. You're just going to have to Bear with me for now. Let's say these are my hours high and low, Larry, right? Well, the breakout was to the downside. So what do? I grab the fibs. I draw the fibs in the direction of the move. Got it? Okay, cool. So, and Patty said, and your stop would be would have been a close above the 618. It could be a close, Patty. It could be a dollar amount. I certainly would look to target. I certainly would look to target the. What do we got here? This is a 15-minute chart on NQ. Let's go back to a 5. Well, I drew it on the 15, so we'll just use that. So I certainly would look to. No, I like it better on the 5. All right. So as we came up, Patty closed above, came back down below. Right. I certainly would look at these, the recent high, maybe on this red candle day. Right. Somewhere on that high would be my break above there, and I'm out of the trade. Absolutely. Great place to consider it is right there. Patty, you're welcome. Yeah, guys, I'm a big fan of finding a trading strategy, finding a trade setup, and being able to capitalize on it. Power Hour is one of those types of setups. How do we go about set the trade up? How do we go about and set the trade up to give myself the maximum potential for profitability in that trade? That is what it comes down to. Very good. Cool. All right, so I'm just kind of checking out the market, see what's happening over here. Let me do
Ladies
this.
and gentlemen, you can open live that you can trade it. The only one.
So guys, I don't know where the page is, where the slide is. I can't find it right off the top of my head. Okay, but this is the comparison chart that I talked about. I compared E-mini Think Tank, Power Options Plays, Monster Market Movers, Covered Call Explorer, Trading You, right? And the Shield is a yes, right? These are all where they're available. Positions used for day trades. You can't use Covered Call Explorer as day trades. I mean, you could use the candidates, but not as covered calls. Positions that are held overnight. You can hold E-minis overnight. We don't hold them overnight, right? Can they be traded during the regular market hours? All of them can, which means if you have access during the day, any one of our programs work for you. Can they be traded at night? E-mini can be traded at night, active live at night, because the next line says, can the orders be set up at night? The answer is yes for all of them. What are we using stocks for? Covered Call Explorer, Trading You. What about options? Everything but E-mini Think Tank. What about futures? Only E-mini Think Tank. Can you be traded with a small account? Yes, all 5 of them can be traded with a small account. It's just a and I went through a little bit about each of the tools. This is going to show up on the members area, guys, where the banners are. You'll see a banner there. You will see a banner there where this is going to pop into, and then you'll be able to go ahead and click over and watch that video, right? But that comparison helps you understand a little bit of who you are, you know, what works best for you, and so forth. Awesome. All right, guys. At that, I kept you a couple extra minutes, but we started a couple minutes late, so we're good. We're right on time then, I guess. So with that, we're done. Guys, do not forget to get yourself registered for Trading You, right? It's still at the $49. Tomorrow's meeting at noon will determine the date that we raise it to $97. Those of you that get it at the 49 are locked in and guaranteed at the 49. Amelia, if you could drop a Trading You link in the chat box, I would appreciate it. You guys will remain locked in there. Jim said your chart was great on your products. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Jim. And the video will do a lot more help, right? The video will be a lot of help just to get an understanding, because I know there's a lot in there. Like Brenda asked before, She's trying to figure out which program works best for her. Power Options Plays, Monster Market Movers. She may not even have considered TradingView. She may not have considered E-mini. This will at least combine them together and give you guys the opportunity to at least compare our 5 major trainings that we do. There's a lot of other stuff that we have, guys, like patterns in a flash, like TradeWatch alerts, right? I mean, guys, we're crushing it on TradeWatch alerts. On our alerts, we're absolutely killing it. We had a couple of great ones come out today, right? You definitely want to make sure you're following along what we do. Guys, it's a 2-week trial. If you don't have to take my word for it. Go check it out. Cool. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're done. I'll leave the room open a couple of minutes. Amelia dropped in the TradingView page, so you guys can go check it out. So with that, you have a wonderful and glorious rest of your day. God bless. And I'll see all of you guys at our next update. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it. Hey, Pete, it's good having you back, my friend. All right, talk to you soon.